Let's talk about threats, both foreign and domestic, to our free and fair elections, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So there are some troubling patterns emerging in the run-up to the November elections, and they're beginning to look a lot like what we had to suffer through in the run-up to the 2016 elections. Now, I'll warn you in advance, this video ain't gonna be rosy. Let's look at two data points to see the picture that is emerging regarding what we are going to have to contend with in the run-up to the November elections. First of all, what started to bring this into focus for me was a tweet sent out by Senator Richard Blumenthal, and it reads that he was shocked and appalled. I just left a 90-minute classified briefing on foreign malign threats to our elections, from spying to sabotage. Americans need to see and hear these reports. All right, that couldn't be more ominous about the fact that foreign malign actors are seeking to interfere in the upcoming election. Can I ask one question, folks? Does anybody really believe that these foreign malign actors, this spying, this sabotage, is designed to help Joe Biden get elected? If it was, it would be just as worthy as condemnation. It would be just as worthy of a massive US law enforcement effort to put a stop to it. But do we think this has to do with helping Joe Biden? Or do we think it has to do with helping Donald Trump stay in power? One data point. Here's the second data point that, when read in conjunction with what Senator Blumenthal is doing, sounding this alarm bell, becomes really troubling. So the second data point has to do with Bill Barr and his hand-picked US Attorney John Durham, who have been on this endless quest to try to, find information and evidence, or people willing to say anything that would support Bill Barr's conclusion that he's already announced, that the Obama administration never should have opened a counterintelligence investigation into the origins of the Trump campaign's coordination with the Russians. Here's the headline from NBC News. Trump administration probe of the Russia investigation may be nearing conclusion, and the article reads in part, AG Barr told Congress he would not wait until after the election to present Durham's findings if they are finalized. Barr has made clear he believes Obama administration officials acted wrongfully when they opened a counterintelligence investigation into the Trump campaign's dealings with Russians. So, a few things about what we know Bill Barr is trying to do. First of all, never mind that Inspector General Michael Horowitz from the Department of Justice did a full-blown investigation, a deep dive into the origins of the Trump-Russia probe, and concluded it was properly opened, properly predicated is the word we use, and that it was not the product of politics. Bill Barr doesn't like that conclusion, so he's involved in a redo. Never mind that Bill Barr has announced that he would violate the Department of Justice policies, rules, procedures, protocols, and tradition by announcing on the eve of an election, as an October surprise, the conclusions of the Durham investigation. Why? Because he is orchestrating those conclusions to hurt Joe Biden. No two ways about it. Never mind that Bill Barr has made the cardinal investigative sin. He has announced his own desired findings and conclusions before the Durham investigation is even complete. He said the Obama administration officials acted wrongfully when they opened the Trump Russia investigation. I don't need a full, fair investigation. I've already reached my conclusion, and I'll be announcing it on the eve of the election. In fact, when asked under oath when he was testifying before Congress, well, you will wait until after the election to announce any investigative findings of John Durham, correct? Bill Barr's answer was one word: no. You know, it's no secret that Bill Barr is willing to use the power of the office of the Attorney General to keep King Donald on his throne. And of course, folks, it doesn't really matter what investigative conclusions John Durham reaches. Maybe he's doing an honest investigation. I have no idea. But whatever he concludes, you already know what Bill Barr will do. He'll step to the camera and he will say that I am announcing that John Durham's findings and conclusions are an indictment of Joe Biden and they exonerate Donald Trump. That's exactly what Bill Barr did with the Mueller report, running to the camera and saying, no obstruction, no collusion. Bob Mueller completely cleared the president, until we saw a written court order, a finding from federal district court judge in D.C., Reggie Walton, who concluded that Bill Barr spun the findings and conclusions of the Mueller report. Bill Barr mischaracterized the findings and conclusions of the Mueller report, and Bill Barr lacks candor and credibility. He can't be believed. He's gonna do it again, folks, with the findings of the Durham report. Now, and if there's any doubt about that, look at another Washington Post headline, quote, Barr may try to spin his investigation before the election. Don't believe him, blares the headlines. And here's the problematic parallel, folks. Think about it. Senator Blumenthal says, we've got this blockbuster information in our possession about foreign malign threats to the election, spying and sabotage, but we can't tell you about it. While at the same time, Bill Barr is getting ready to package up some false findings and conclusions, some disinformation, some propaganda, and getting ready to drop it on the American voters right before the election. Think about those two things, and then think back to the run-up to the 2016 presidential election. What did we have to contend with? Jim Comey, the former director of the FBI, on the one hand, dropping devastating information on Hillary Rodham Clinton, deeply damaging Hillary Clinton's prospects of being elected, right? How she was so reckless, just so out of control handling these emails. I mean, reading between the lines, he might as well have said, you can't trust her to be president. I mean, Jim Comey beat Hillary Clinton like a rented mule, figuratively speaking. Deeply damaging announcement. While on the other hand, the federal government was actually involved in a serious counterintelligence investigation because the government knew that Donald Trump and his campaign were coordinating with malign Russian characters to undermine the fairness of the upcoming election. And the federal government decided to hide that from us, hide that from the American voters. Think about those two things in combination. Announcing all this damaging information about Hillary Clinton and hiding from the American voters. Truly damaging information about Trump and Russia. And we can talk all day about how maybe everyone thought they were doing the right thing. Maybe Jim Comey thought he was doing the right thing. I can disagree with that, and we can have a robust debate about all that. Maybe all Obama administration officials who didn't want to disclose this admittedly ongoing investigation about the deeply damaging information about Trump and Russia, they thought they were doing the right thing, but it sort of doesn't matter at this point, because what it delivered to the American people was an unfit president who has all but destroyed our republic. And folks, I, for one, do not believe our republic can survive another 4 years of the tandem combination of King Donald and his corrupt attorney general enforcing his every criminal move. I don't think we can survive that. I don't know that any of us can survive that. But the parallels of what happened in the run-up to the 2016 election look so much like what we're contending with now. Senator Blumenthal saying there's this crazy damaging information, foreign malign actors, spying and sabotage. And then there's Bill Barr ready to drop some disinformation to hurt Joe Biden's prospects at being elected. Here's what I would say. Senator Blumenthal and all law-abiding members of Congress, please find a way, a lawful way, to bring this information to our attention. Let the American voters know what that damaging, malign foreign interference in our upcoming election is all about. We deserve that information. We deserve not to have another rigged election like we had in 2016, rigged in favor of Donald Trump by the decisions that were made by members of the government to either say or decline to say something. Transparency for a change. How about that? And I'm not suggesting Senator Blumenthal or anybody else should violate the rules or the laws regarding classified information. I am not. But there have to be ways. There are speech and debate clause protections when you stand up on the floor of the House or the Senate and you speak the truth on behalf of the American people. There have to be ways to keep America from being stampeded toward another unfair, rigged election, courtesy of nefarious actors, both foreign and domestic. Folks, I told you this video wasn't going to be rosy, and I trust I didn't disappoint. But this is as serious as it gets because it's about our free and fair elections and the future of our republic. Look at where we are right now at this moment in time, on the health front, on the economic front, on the racial injustice front, on the ethics in government front. And let's get to the polls in November, and let's hope we are armed with full, fair, accurate information about who to vote for and who not to vote for. Thanks for sticking with me through this, folks. I look forward to talking with you all tomorrow.